I let a random generator pick my top 11 bottles of bourbons. What are they gonna be? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. We have all done and heard about the ADHD 5-bottle of bourbon challenge, where you have to have a mixer, a everyday sipper, a Friday night pour, and a press your guest and a special occasion pour. Well, let's take that to the next level with this video right here. We have 11 bottles that we can have, and on your screen right now you are going to see two different wheel spinners. On this side you are going to see your categories, and we are going to have one special occasion pour. We're allowed to have 2 impress a guest pours, 2 Friday night pours, 3 mixers, and 3 everyday sipper pours. And on this side right here, you are going to see 40 bottles of bourbons. What we are going to do is we are going to spin the categories wheel, and whatever it lands on is that category for then us spinning the bottle wheel. And for instance, let's say it lands on impress a guest, and then it so forth lands on early times 80 proof. I am going to have to sell you that early times and explain to you why that is an amazing bottle of bourbon that you haven't had and you will enjoy, and so on and so forth. This is going to be a fun video. Make sure you guys drop that like, comment down below on if you enjoyed the video, and smash that subscribe button, because we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and as always, I want every single one of you to be along with it on that ride. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's spin our category wheel and see what our first category is going to be. It is looking like our first category is going to be our first mixer pour. So we're going to remove that right there, and we are going to spin the wheel for our first bottle. What is our first mixer bottle going to be? It looks like we're going to mix Rock Hill Farms. Now that's a sad one right there. But hey, nonetheless, we know Rock Hill Farms is delicious, and I could only imagine that Rock Hill Farms can make a darn good cocktail at 100 proof. Single barrel could be darn good juice right there in a cocktail, but we won't find another bottle of Rock Hill Farms to mix with for God knows how long. Let's move on to category number 2. Category number 2 looks like we're going to get our first impress a guest. And, well, let's find out what our first impress a guest bottle is going to be. Our first impress a guest bottle is looking like it's going to be Weller Foolproof. And, well, I think that for me, I would probably sell this as saying that this is the wheated Buffalo Trace mash bill, the same exact mash bill as Pappy Van Winkle, bottled at the full proof that bottle of bourbon goes into that barrel at to start aging its process at 114 proof. It's very, very nice. It's a little bit hot, but it's really, really sweet and approachable and enjoyable, and this nose is absolutely fantastic. Let's move on to category number 3. And I think I forgot to mention this. We are not doing the special occasion pour until the very last one. So if it lands on special occasion, we got to spin it again. So here we go. Let's find out what it lands on. It's looking like we're getting our Friday night pour action here. Let's see what we're going to be enjoying on our Friday night. It's looking like we're enjoying Blanton's on our Friday night. Good old bottle of Blanton's. Can't go wrong with that. Single barrel, 93 proof. I think that might be a really nice, enjoyable pour to start your Friday night on, to work your way up to something a little bit higher proof. Let's remove that, and let's move on to our next category. Our next category is going to be our weekly sipper. It's weekly sipper number 1, I think this is. Is this number 1 or number 2? I can't remember, but here we go. Let's find out what we're drinking throughout the week. Oh, we're enjoying Mackenzie throughout this week, aren't we? Mackenzie bourbon coming in at 91 proof, or 91 proof. out of the Finger Lakes in New York, upstate New York. Really good bottle right there. Haven't had it since I was there. Maybe had 1 or 2 pours since then, but you know, when you're there, you find something local, a local distillery, and it's not too bad. I enjoyed it, and it is what it is, and it's something you could probably enjoy throughout the week. So let's move on to what our next pour is going to be. We are going to get a weekly sipper again. Here we go. Let's remove that and see what we're going to be enjoying throughout this week again. Man, this is, I really hope we don't get something that's like Elijah Craig toasted. Oy vey. You know, not my favorite go-to bottle of bourbon, coming in at what, 94 proof. Toasted bottle. As you guys saw in one of those shorts that I uploaded, I saw one for $150. Astronomical in my opinion. But hey, it's a good pour, 94 proof throughout the week. You could possibly enjoy it, but I don't know if you're going to find another bottle of that for a decent price, that is, especially here in New Jersey. So let's move on to our next category. Looking like we're getting our next mixer. So let's remove that and let's see what we're mixing as a beautiful, beautiful bottle of beautiful whiskey. Let's find out right here, right now. It's looking like we are going to be mixing Blanton's Gold. We're not going to be mixing that for long because we're about halfway through that bottle, but those are probably going to be darn good cocktails. We've got 2 mixers, right? We've got this and we've got Rock Hill Farms, both Buffalo Trace mash bill number 2s. You know, they're going to be some spicy cocktails, but they're going to be darn good, delicious cocktails. Let's get that out of the way, and let's move on to our next category. Looking like we've got another mixer. What are we mixing with next? Let's find out right here, right now. Early Times 80 proof is our next mixer. And I think, you know, for under possibly $15, I can't remember how much I spent on this bottle, I think that that's a darn good mixing whiskey. You know, it's not a bourbon per se because it is aged in used ex-bourbon barrels, but 80 proof could be a good mixer for somebody who's never had it before. So let's remove that. Let's go and do our next category. It's looking like it's going to be our Friday night pour, our last Friday night pour, and let's see what we're going to be enjoying on that Friday night. We're going to be enjoying Weller 12-year. And I think that this is a good Friday night pour. Weller 12-year is absolutely delicious, 90 proof. You know, supposed to be a $35, $40 bottle of bourbon, but you can't really find it for under $100 if you see it in the store, and secondary is going for like $200, $225. But nonetheless, I think that that is going to be a good Friday night pour. It'll last a couple of months. And yeah, I think that that is probably one of the better polls that we've had for the night for something along this line. So let's get that out of the way, and let's go ahead and find out if we land on Impress a Guest or not. Oh, it's looking like we're not. All right, it looks like we've got our last mixer. What are we going to be mixing with? Are we going to be mixing with George T. Stagg? Or are we going to be mixing with something like Thomas H. Handy? Or are we going to be mixing with something like Buffalo Trace? We're going to find out right here, right now. And oh my God, that's gonna suck. Jack Daniel's 12-year as a mixer? Oh my gosh. It's funny that this lands on the Jack 12 because I'm enjoying the Jack 10 for this video. And I think that this right here might make one of the best cocktails that you could ever imagine. I think that what you'd have to do in a cocktail for the Jack 12 is do like a banana style, maybe Manhattan or something along those lines. Emphasize the banana notes and the dark, rich caramel notes that come out of the Jack Daniel's 12-year, and use like a banana liqueur or smoke the glass with cinnamon or something along those lines. And I think that that might make a really, really good cocktail. It'd be a darn expensive cocktail to make, but nonetheless, I think you could definitely make it work and do something absolutely delicious. So here we go. We've got a 50-50 on landing on Impress a Guest. Let's find out if we get a special occasion pour or an Impress a Guest. All right, we have our special occasion pour, not what we are supposed to have. So we're gonna spin this one more time. If it doesn't land on it, we're just gonna do the Impress a Guest and then the special occasion. So again, special occasion pour, we're not even going to worry about that. So what this wheel spin is going to be for is our last Impress a Guest. So here we go. Let's spin the wheel and see what we're going to be doing to impress a guest with. We're going to be pulling out Old Granddad 2003. Now I think that's a really good impress your guest pour. You know, even though this bottle right here wasn't anything special when it was first on shelves in 2003, to be sealed and not opened for over 20 years, I think that goes a long way to see what this bourbon compared to a new bottle of Old Granddad 114 could possibly be like. Because like I just said, this has been on my shelf in a cabinet for over 20 years, and you know, bourbons change over time and stuff along those lines. You know, it doesn't age like wine, but they use different grains and stuff like that. You know, 20 years ago, this could be a completely different tasting experience compared to what Old Granddad 114 is now. You know, we use it as mixers and stuff like that, but this really could be something that is enjoyed neat or on the rocks as a impress your guest kind of pour, in my opinion. Let's move on to our last and final pour, our special occasion bottle. So we are on our last wheel spin, our special occasion bottle. We've got, how many bottles are left on this? We've got 30 bottles left on this wheel. And we've got the possibility of pouring Buffalo Trace for a special occasion. The possibility of pouring Knob Creek 12 year. We've still got the possibility of pouring the George T. Stagg, the Thomas H. Handy, things along those lines. So here we go. We're going to start this wheel spin and we're going to see what we are enjoying for our special occasion. It's going to land on the Blue Note Las Notas, and you guys know how much I do enjoy that bottle. But do I think it's a good special occasion pour? Let's find out. This bottle right here, this is the Blue Note Las Notas, came out in 2022, coming in at 119.8 proof. It's barrel number 3. I only think they did 4 or 5 barrels for this release that Blue Note did. This is finished in complete French oak barrels, and I know a lot of people were looking for this when it was released. I think that this is a really, really good special occasion pour due to the fact that I picked this up on my bachelor trip when we went down to Nashville. I got this bottle for like, I think $32 or $33, and I don't think that they knew what they had when they had this bottle marked down that cheap. Nonetheless, it could have been that cheap, and I just didn't know, and I think it's something that is absolutely out of this world. And for a 100 and pretty much 20 proof bottle of juice, this is one of my absolute favorite pours. I've been milking it now. It's almost been a year since I picked it up. It might be, no, my bachelor trip was next week this time last year. So it was mid-April when we went, and man, this was an absolute dime of a bottle that I was able to pick up, and nonetheless, that is what it is. That is our special occasion pour. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you drop that like. Leave a comment down below if you want to see another one of these in the future. And like I say, drop that subscribe so that you don't miss the content. And we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Till next time, this has been Nathan with The Everyday Drinker. Cheers.